The 580 Show. Let's go. The 580 Show. Let's go. The 580 Show.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to episode 130 of the 580 Show. Myself, Dante, and Frawley. What's up, boys?
It's happening.
We're back. Showtime.
So, signups for bridge and regionals in 2 weeks has come and gone. So I think we ended with 115 athletes after dropouts and everything like that, which is really cool. We're recording this with like 4 hours left in registration. So, but I don't foresee getting too many. But the really cool thing about regionals and bridge, I believe I have to do another count, but I think last time I counted was 17 states.
Wow, that's a lot.
We're being represented.
Can you sort by state, or you just have to look that up yourself?
On my back end, I can.
Okay.
On my Iron Podium user account, I can see their address.
Nice.
So, yeah, last time I checked, it was 17 states, which is
wow,
freaking awesome. Coming to Monaca, Pennsylvania, like so cool. So we're just getting everything finalized with that. When you guys are competing, how do you guys feel about everything?
I'm ready for this shit to be over. I'm done with prepping, man. That's how you know prep's going right.
It's the dog days of prep right now.
Yep.
Last week was my really bad week.
It was this week for me.
I just had no motivation. You know, that's when discipline takes over. You just gotta, you still gotta do what you gotta do and fight through the pain and fight through the depression.
It was big time this week. I was just like, God. I got done with my kettlebell swings I do at the end of my Thursday workout yesterday, and I was like, I only have to do this one more time. I only have to do this one more time.
Yeah,
so I was like,
you were looking sad last night, Danny.
I was, oh man, it hit this week.
I'm in the dog days as a promoter right now too, because like you forget how many questions you get, no matter how much event videos you send out and rules you put on the Iron Podium. Like the amount of questions right now that I'm fielding, literally, like some days feels like a full-time job. I mean, I'm the one that signed up to do it, like 100%, but us strongmen ask a lot of questions that are already answered, and we try to provide them for it, but that's all right. But yeah, I feel like I'm in my peak week of promoting as well. So, but yeah, a lot of cool stuff planned for it. If you don't know the layout for the weekend, we got day one of regionals. We'll have 3 events. If the weather's perfect, it'll be max deadlift, sandbag toss, and then Hercules hold. And then we'll have our entire Battle at the Bridge 2 show in the evening. So starting at 3:00, rolls will start at 2. Hoping to be done about 7:38 with Battle at the Bridge 2. And then regionals athletes will come back on Sunday morning. And it'll be a quick show. I mean, it's going to be like about 10 to 1, 10 to 1:30, and then awards after. So I'm just happy with the way the weekend's coming together. You guys will end with a pretty tough day. You'll have Viking press, then stone to shoulder max reps, and then a frame carry down and back. So
yeah, I definitely think day 2 is a good bit more taxing than day 1, but having a max deadlift though to start, like that's obviously pretty taxing. But
yeah,
the other 2 aren't quite as bad, but you'll earn your pay on day 2, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool for bridge and regionals. We have 3 lanes. So you'll pretty much, for regionals, you'll be in just a lane for deadlifts, and you guys will kind of like cycle through your events like just in order. It'll pretty much just be one person going at a time the whole morning, but then bridge will kind of rotate around to their different lanes. So it'll, I think logistically we've got a lot of it planned out. I have so many volunteers, which is always awesome. Like I always talk about it like at the shows and stuff, but it is crazy how like thankful I am for volunteers, because it's just obviously impossible without them. And to have like, I think right now we have like 30 volunteers signed up, and that's not counting like me and my family, obviously, but like just to show up on a Saturday and help run a strongman comp, like that's freaking awesome,
And so, Sunday this year too. That's a lot.
Yeah, we'll have less volunteers for Sunday just because it's 50 something competitors and that's
Right.
it. But yeah, like over the weekend we'll have 40 plus volunteers between the 2 days, which is
Nice.
incredibly awesome. So, thank you to everyone. And we're just gonna hopefully put on the best show possible for everyone since 17 states, people are obviously traveling. I had someone call me today from Southern Florida that's coming up.
Wow.
It's like it's just so cool. So yeah, excited to see everyone on the weekend. I mean, I just complained about getting questions, but if you do have questions, check the Iron Podium, check the videos, and if they're not answered, it's probably something I didn't think about. Just call me, text me, whatever, email me. And yeah, we'll see everyone for at Bridge in 2 short weeks, that is crazy. Last week, probably you weren't here, but we talked about USS Nationals, which is come and gone. And I had a lot of time I kind of wanted to finish that discussion because I had a lot of time to talk to competitors, spectators, judges, people that were at the show. Did you get to watch a lot of it, Frawley?
The USS National show?
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah.
I just checked the Iron Podium's results.
Yeah. I mean, it came out, there was so kind of in like the little strongman Facebook groups and stuff like that, there was a lot of talk about I guess there were some axles that broke, and like I just didn't want it last week to come off as negative. I was just kind of saying my thoughts because I watched the majority of it.
Right.
And there was, you know, this is kind of where I get annoyed with strongman, is like that old school mentality where people are like, well, there's only gonna, you don't need to warm up in strongman and stuff like that. And like I just hate it. And like I guess it came out there was only 2 deadlift bars to warm up on for 600 plus athletes. Now, granted, they're in 2 sessions, but 2 deadlift bars is insanely low.
Mm-hmm.
And just a lot of changes to the events, a lot of misloads came out. Like I said, volunteers, judges, like it's a thankless job. But like it ended up like the 220 guys did 40 pounds less than the 165 and 181 guys on deadlift.
Because of the misload.
Yeah. So the 220 class ended up doing a 560 deadlift, and then the lightweight guys did 600. They did more.
Well, and I mean, you mentioned that last week, but you do have to keep the weight the same. You can't ask people to do it again.
Which is
So,
that's
you
the
make the best of the
positive
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of like each class going in their own lane because of that.
Right.
Like, what would you have done in the situation if
Yeah.
say us three were all going at the same time in the same class? Frawley's lane 1, Dante's 2, I'm 3, and they misload Frawley and he's deadlifting 560 and me and Dante are doing 600.
I think the only way that you could do that is if that were to happen, you would have to have that person do 600 again.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
But
there's no real other way to do it.
Yeah, and
I
bet a lot of
times
it just gets brushed under the rug. It's just brushed under the rug. It's just, I'm not trying to be negative, but like talking to even just like, I talked to a couple like overseas athletes and promoters, and the stuff that we put up with like in the US strongman, like our standards are very, 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 very low. And it's crazy that the stuff I don't think that the people that ran USS Nationals this year made $1 million.
No.
But if you don't think if they didn't profit, they're really bad with money. They're really bad with money. And if they did profit, which they should, they're putting all this on. But like I saw a post, Chris Vaccio and Starting Strongman made a really long post about being critical of people that were being critical of the promoters. And he said he broke down when he ran 2019 USS Nationals and said how he made, maybe like $5,000 or something like that. I'd have to find the post, which is fine. I want people to make money, especially if you're taking on that burden of running USS Nationals. But he said on the thing, the banquet alone, when he ran USS Nationals, cost him $37,000 for USS Nationals banquet. To me, that's just irresponsible spending. Like, I don't think, like, I mean, unless I'm missing something. And I also think, like, with a strongman comp, I want your guys' opinion on this. What would you guys do? You guys even want a banquet at Nationals, or would you rather go into the show running well?
I mean, I like the banquet. Obviously, I liked it. It's an option. Um, I wouldn't want it at the expense of the competition, though.
Right. I mean, okay, so if I came to you and I said I can spend $37,000 on the competition or on the banquet, I would
Yeah,
pick the
right. I
competition.
mean, I think anybody that's a competitor would say that the competition.
Yeah. I mean, and like I find, a lot of people just want to go home after the comps.
Right.
Like what we do with our comps, we throw it out there. Hey guys, we're gonna be hanging out, drinking, eating, whatever. Anyone's welcome. I know
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah,
But
Nationals is different, but
$37,000 for a banquet is stupid, in my opinion.
now you said the American athletes put up with a lot worse than what, let's say, European athletes do. Do you have examples of that? Like in what I don't know what context you mean. Like what are you referring
Well,
to?
everything over there is paid out, and just from what I see is a higher quality. And it's a
Okay.
different model because US is way bigger.
Like
But
the country.
yeah, like physically the country.
Uh-huh.
But like I was talking to Luke Davies, who's one of the biggest
Mhm.
promoters over there. Every single cent they make goes to athlete prize pool. Doesn't go
Okay.
to a $37,000 banquet.
Now, is that in reference to like chaos?
It's any of it. Any
Okay.
of it.
Mhm.
Any show they run 80s, the local shows, they try to do payouts, stuff like that.
Sure.
I just think we prioritize in kind of a weird way where it's like my jaw dropped when I heard $37,000 for a banquet, because to me that's irresponsible spending. Now they may require you to run a banquet, whatever, but I just as a strongman competitor myself, I would way rather the $37,000 go to the show.
Dude, I can't
Well,
imagine. I can't imagine a banquet with like 600 athletes.
Yeah, there was at the time there was like 480.
And
yeah,
like,
it's still a
Strawman
lot.
Corporation was like, it wasn't that big. I don't think there was like too many people that stayed for it. And I thought that, I don't know. I just can't imagine like something so structurized with like 500 people. So maybe that's where all the money went. I don't know.
I just yeah, I know I understand how I understand how, you can spend the money on it. I just think it's irresponsible spending. Like if you're complaining about not making money from nationals or not being able to, like, it's expensive to have a warm-up room. Yeah, it's expensive to have a warm-up room, but it's expensive for 650 athletes to sign up for $175 and pay a membership fee and travel there. I feel like it's not asking too much to have a warm-up room.
I mean, yeah, like a well enough equipped one for people to warm up on. I mean, I don't know the full details that you're referring to with USS Nationals, but I mean, just as a knee-jerk reaction, 2 bars in a warm-up room for that many athletes does sounds like there needs to be more.
Yeah.
So
That's just, that's my thoughts. That's how it's not saying I'm right or wrong. It's just, that's how
right.
I would run a show. I would want, if I had an opportunity to run a big show like Nationals, I would put it into the priority of the contest, signage, goodie bags, equipment, not a banquet that costs $37,000. That's me.
I think for like warm-ups too. I mean, you have all these people come on the volunteer and help. You know, half those people probably have like a deadlift bar in their gym they can bring over. Like it doesn't have to be the exact competition equipment, I feel like you can have just like yokes or deadlift bars or dump barbells or something in the back, just something to warm up on. It doesn't have to be like exactly competition quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, yeah. So the axles they used were Titan axles. They're $99. You had 650 people sign up for $175. So I don't think it's too much to ask for one axle per lane. I think that would be the rule of thumb, like behind the banner. One warm-up room. That's how, but and like little stuff like, now this isn't a criticism because this is how this was made very clear, is that you're gonna have to hook and unhook your carabiner. I just as I watched that event, like it's so silly because it ended up being like who could hook and unhook a carabiner faster, not who was the best deadlifter. But like I
Yeah.
said, that was the name of the game. I'm not gonna knock on that. I just lot of stuff from people I talked to this week complaining about equipment, specifically not enough warm up and missed loads, judging, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
The warm up seems to be a never ending thing, and it seems to be
and that's
across the board.
dude, it's Strongman Corporation
Yeah,
too.
it seems to be across the board everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
like at all different kinds of shows. It just I don't know the way to fix it, but I know that I appreciate. I'm not saying you're gonna have pristine crystal like perfect warm ups, but I mean, doing an event not cold is it is very much appreciated as an athlete. Like,
Well, what my whole point is, like, I think, like, if you look at strongman in America, I can't speak for the other countries how their structure is, but athletes are the product. We are the money in strongman. That's how you raise money is
yeah.
entry fees, right?
Mhm.
I just think athletes need to speak up and just ask for a little bit more out of competitions. Like what, like, you know what I mean? Like if you demand more and you sign up for the shows that are giving you more, I think that's how you get more.
Yeah.
That-
I mean, you march with your dollar. That's
yeah. It just
right. Like,
I've been to local shows where I'm like, we all have, you guys know the shows. I'm not gonna name shows, but like where it's like, man, that was pretty miserable. And then you talk to people, they're like, oh, that was all right. You're like, wow, like our standards are so low
right,
for
right.
like what we're asking for, you know.
Yep.
And but you know, and like I said, I went on a little bit of a negative tangent there, but it's just being critical, you know, because it is USS Nationals is a big show. It's the biggest, and if you look at actual participation, it's the biggest show in the world.
Right.
So I watched and consumed the whole thing. I'll talk about positives all day. They had a ton of volunteers. The live stream was free, and the live stream was awesome for a free live stream.
That's big. That's awesome.
The venue looked awesome. Ton of awesome sponsors involved. Like the judges seem to do their best. For all you know how to judge in a front hold is, it sucks.
I hated
Yeah.
judging that event.
I will never put a front hold in a contest again because it is just too opinionated and it's too hard to judge.
I
It's
think
just way
there's
too
got to
hard.
be like if obviously I'm not going to promote a show like that's where you come in, but if I were to do it, I would have something set up and say your arms are straight out and you're going to hold the weight. And honestly, I would have something where your hands when they drop that it hits
Yeah.
like a yoke, a bar, a piece of rope. I don't know, something that is out. Like now, that doesn't account for an elbow bend, but
That's the other thing. It's like
but
shit.
but if you put a yoke out, it could because now if you have the yoke out where it's directly in front of whatever you're holding, if you pull in, it hits the yoke. If it drops, it hits the yoke.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
like for an example, you know what I mean? I would have something indicating that rather than just like my eye or another judge's eye, because it's a pain in the ass to judge.
Yeah. That's why we say, like, we talk about not having squats in strongman, and like I would obviously love to have more squats, but can you imagine the judging?
People would have some hurt feelings.
Yeah.
People don't hit depth on squats.
That's
It
probably
just
why
doesn't.
that's probably why every squat event's like a box squat
Yeah,
almost.
box
Right.
or where the
Or a
sides hit.
yoke.
I like a box squat. Yeah, or a yoke. Or a yoke. But yeah, no, a ton of positives from USS Nationals too. And I think like my rant doesn't even come. It's because I watched USS Nationals. It's not just USS Nationals. It's
Right.
shows as a whole. Like
Right.
it reminded me of the bigger picture of, like, you know. Do you guys also, I don't know if you know the answer to this. I should have looked it up. I don't know how I'd find it, but they actually USS paid out winners of each class, but only belt winners. Do you know how they determine which classes get belts and which don't?
I believe it is the lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight classes as a whole. And similar to how Strongman Corporation used to have subclasses,
Subclasses.
I believe that there are for example, I'm, I don't know if it's 242 or 275, but the 275, 308, and super heavyweight are scored separately, but they're also
They're
scored
all
together.
Yeah, they're all.
So like you can take like for example, Sean Fuller, we know he won the 308 class.
Yeah.
He has also scored against the super heavyweights and
Oh.
the 275s to my understanding as one big class, and I believe that would make you the belt winner.
Didn't they do
That's my
different
guess.
weights though? Or no, they didn't do different weights.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if 275s did or not. And
Yeah.
it might be like 242, 275s are together, and that's heavyweight, 308, and super heavyweight are super heavyweight, for
I'm
example.
I'm looking
Something
at
like
it.
that. That's cool
Yeah.
though. Yeah, so
that would be my guess.
yeah, they paid out $1,000 to the belt winners.
That's
So I
cool.
guess that would be 181, 220.
I would bet for lightweight it would be the 65 and 81s, and then
Yes. So the
98
winner of
and
that
220.
overall.
I would bet 98 and 220 are a class,
Oh, okay.
242, 275 are a class, 308 super heavyweight are a class.
Yeah, 275 and 308 are different.
Gotcha.
Okay. But I bet 275 and 242 are the same.
Gotcha.
270,
Yeah, I was
275 and 242 are the same, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was curious because that's what someone told me that those classes.
That's cool. Hey, paying out athletes is good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Paying out money is good. That's a good thing.
And I do see people like it is amateur. So like it isn't required to pay people out. So that's a really nice thing to get paid out.
Well, it helps people pay for their travels. Right.
Yeah.
Like that's the
100%.
biggest thing that I look at is like, hey, it helped you get there, it helped you pay for your entry, it helped you pay for your stay, etc. So
Heck yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I was trying not to come off negative, then came off negative again, but it's all good. Just saying what I saw.
Listen, you're only saying that because you care and you want it to get better.
Yeah, 100%. But the live stream, I thought it was awesome for a specific, especially free.
I can't say I didn't watch any of it, but I did watch a brief bit in the morning. But from what I did see, it was great. I did like that. Like it was maybe a half hour worth of content, but it was free is great. Not having to pay for it, it's great. No, I mean we probably would pay for it, but nonetheless, it was nice that we didn't have to.
100%. But moving on from that, I mean, in strongman, there's OSG Europe's got announced today for the actual weight matrix got finalized.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty interesting. Obviously, we're in America. I don't want to talk about it for too long, but it's just a show. It's interesting to me because it's like OSG over in Europe, like a not as big of a show as OSG, but another big show they're trying to make big. And I thought the weight matrix was pretty interesting because it like gets heavier. It's heavier in events I didn't expect to be as heavy. Okay. So like it's just to give you guys a rundown of the weekend. So on Friday, it's log clean and press for reps and then a yoke race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the yoke race is 20 meters. That's it. So 65 foot straight course, straight shot. Similar to what I think Lynn does at OSG. Like like I think it's usually just a straight shot because it's the car. And then a sandbag steeplechase, which is a really interesting event, and then a deadlift ladder. And that's Saturday. So it's like,
what is a sandbag steeplechase?
So athlete carries 2 sandbags and loads them over a bar. Then the athlete runs around the bar after they load the second one and then carries the sandbag another 10 meters and loads it onto a platform. So it's like a steeple, I guess. It's like, so you pick up the sandbag, load it over the yoke, pick up the second sandbag, load it over the yoke, then pick up the first sandbag and run it to a platform and load it, and then pick up the second one and load it to a platform. And it's 10 meters each way.
Okay. That's a lot of movement. I like it.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And really, those are the events I just love in strongman, which just brought something to my mind I'm going to talk about after this weight matrix. But then a deadlift ladder that ends Saturday. So it's a 4-bar deadlift ladder in a row. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday ends with a shield carry and a power stairs.
Okay.
So the reason I'm bringing it up because I was looking at the weights and I think the weight matrix is awesome, but the weights were super. Like I think the weights are fair. I mean, it's always hard to say because you always look at your class, right? Like I'm talking about for 80 kg for me. I would be excited to hear what you guys would say. Like Dante 105's log clean and press is 309. For all these yours is 330.
Fitting.
I I thought it was mine's 242.5. I thought that was just a good weight. It's definitely not heavy. I think it's
Mm-mm.
like reps are attainable for sure for everyone.
Mhm.
But I think it's like a step below OSG, right? So it's
Mhm.
like almost like a regional event, but it's kind of right.
I
I think
mean,
it's
it being like the European Championship, I understand it being decently heavy. Like
Yeah, it should be. I thought
it
the log
should
would be
be.
heavier, is what I was
I would
saying.
have guessed that your class would have been up around 260.
Yeah. But and then the yoke only being a straight shot. I mean, mine's 700.
Yeah.
That's about status quo. Yours 926 for open, 838 for 105s. All fair. But what I think is interesting, the deadlift ladder was pretty light on day 2. Like for my class, the last bar is only 615, 617.5 because it's kilos. So it goes 529, 573, or no, 485, 529, 573, 615. So
Okay.
pretty relatively light for like top deadlifters. For all yours ends at 793, starts at 671, ends at 793. Dante, yours would start at 575 and end at 705. Um, I always just expect that bar to be way heavier. But what I thought were the heavyweights were the last day. So I thought it was really interesting the way the show's designed.
Oh,
I think the weights are great. I'm not being critical of the weights at anything, but I think the way, so you go Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, the weights seem so heavy. So you're the shield carry, which is a max distance 20 meters back and forth in a 60-second time. For all your classes, 420. Um, my class is 330. Dante's, yours would be 386. And that's
that's
like
hefty.
it seems like the shield's harder than a Husafel. I don't know because I've never done it. It's really thin, but it's also
Yeah.
like pretty goofy and like it seems huge if you've ever seen that Giants live shield where it's like pretty hard to move with.
Do you know what the weight was for the world's strongest man shield carry?
I
Out
don't.
of
Dante, look that
curiosity,
up. Look that up real quick. And then I'll talk
420
about
seems pretty.
I'll talk about power stairs too.
Yeah.
Because while Dante's looking that up, because the power stairs is 4 implements for Ollie.
Yeah.
So it's up 3 stairs and it's 4 implements.
Okay.
Like mine starts at 330,
Okay.
the lightest one,
Uh-huh.
and the heaviest one's 400.
432.
What was that, Dante?
The shield was
432. 432
For world's
pounds.
strongest man?
Yep.
so 432 for World Strongest Man, 420 for Europe's for that class.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I assume they're gonna run prelims and finals
I don't know the answer to that.
because if
If
it's finals, I get it. I mean,
yeah, for
you got the
sure.
cream of the crop, right? Like
For sure. But I just thought it was cool and interesting how it kind of like gets heavier as the weekend goes
Yeah.
on. And like I just think like I'm training for his show with power stairs right now and they're extremely light. But like having 4 implements, that's a lot of moving. Like for all yours would be your lightest one would be 441 and your heaviest power stair implement's 507. And the one before that's 496.
Yeah.
Like that is
Do you know what the Arnold
impressive.
weights were? The Arnold
Uh,
amateur weights for your class, for example?
I do you have that available, Dante?
I'm looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
I'm
be
just
interesting.
curious how that compares.
Yeah, I'd be interested to compare. But I mean, that just those weights kind of jump out at me. Like a 507 power stair
That
seems
sounds
after
pretty heavy.
after 3.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's strongman. It's a top level show. Like
Now, does the deadlift ladder interrupt me if you find it, Dante? Does the deadlift ladder allow for suits?
so I have it up. I'm looking for the suits. Yeah, deadlift suits under the competition shirt are allowed.
Okay.
So
Because I know that's like kind of bigger. I would say that's probably bigger in Europe. I
yeah,
know I know OSG like in the States, like people usually wear them. But I
yeah,
was just kind of curious being that I mean, a 793 last final bar in super heavyweights it's almost 800 pounds for a
yeah.
fourth bar. That's pretty legit. But with your class being lighter, it kind of made me, and I
Yeah,
don't
my
necessarily
class, like
know, I
a
don't
lot of
necessarily
them.
know that that's really that light for a 4 bar,
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
know?
I mean, I look at the people that are going to be competing, I guess, and they
Yeah.
just have a really, really like. It seems like they have an awesome group of people coming to compete, and I just know a lot of great deadlifters going.
Okay.
Like obviously Ben Donen, like he can finish that in like 10 seconds,
Yeah.
but he is the cream
Right.
of the like he's the top.
Right.
I thought it was cool too. All divisions. Oh, let me see if this is. It says $55,000 of prize money. All divisions. So that's more than what OSG in America paid out. We're
Right.
talking about overseas shows with prize money at the beginning. Um, I think they paid out like 53,000 or something this year, maybe a little bit more than 55, but it's very close. First place for every class gets 2,500 in an OSG invite. Second place gets 1,500 in an OSG invite, and third in every class gets 1,000 in an OSG invite.
That's
I mean,
cool. OSG invite meaning the final, the world
yeah, the
final in
finals,
West Virginia.
OSG World
Okay.
Finals in Charleston. Yep.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, so
cool, and it
that's
helps people travel.
yeah, really cool. I mean, for all you look at the men's open, I think of like a 330 log isn't heavy for like a local show here. It is heavy for a local
It would
show
be heavy
here.
for a local
But
show.
like
Yeah.
you look at the studs in your class that are coming here, like just jumping off like Andy Black, Andrew Flynn. I know he's
Mhm.
really impressive. I mean, there's some really, really Craig Hughes. I don't know if you know him. Adam Ruskowski from Poland. There's a
Mhm.
there's a whole list of really impressive athletes. Dante's class too. Chris Harrison for the 231s. Matt McKeegan.
Yeah.
Names I don't know too. That I'm sure that Emmanuel guy from Austria. I think I watched him compete at Clash or something.
Okay.
I remember. Do you know that name,
Piscari,
Bucky? Yeah,
Manu
Emmanuel
Piscari.
Piscar,
Yeah.
another good
Uh,
athlete. I
yeah.
mean, my class, they have two of the three from the OSG finals are competing with Donan one and Dean McVie got third.
Okay. Hmm.
Dan Ashcroft is a legend with the and Richard Molnar, he just deadlifted, I think, over eight. He's going for over an 800-pound deadlift at 80. So really, really
There's a
just
good lineup.
yeah, really awesome lineup. I mean, even Mark Felix is doing the Masters 50
Yeah.
plus.
And the
Just
log for my class, like that's 150 kilos. Like
yeah,
330 is 150 kilos. So like I get how that number came. Like if
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, for sure.
if you're I mean if you're a super heavyweight competing at an OSG level show, 330 for reps isn't
Well,
that's
oh,
I
that's nothing.
it
Yeah,
doesn't blow me away. You know what I mean?
right. But I thought the Waymakers was really, really good. I'm even
Yeah.
looking at the women. Like, want to give the women props too. Like,
Yeah.
just names that jump off the off the screen real quick. I mean, Andrea Thompson from England.
Yep.
Olga's competing. Rebecca Roberts from Wales. Donna Moore in the 180s. Just to name a couple, names that I always see.
I assume that Lovelace would be in the lightweight women.
Is she doing the lightweight women? Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kate Connolly from England. I think I've seen that name a bunch too. Um, just a stacked. I mean, if you go to their page, it's at the bottom under the event info, but it's really cool. I think I'm excited to watch this.
I like that it's showcasing a different set of athletes than what we're used to.
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
obviously, like if you're from Europe, you're going to be used to some of these names, but like for us, we don't get as much exposure to those athletes unless it's in a state show.
Yeah.
So if it's
And I
not a
thought it
state
was
show, we
interesting.
don't.
I talked to Josh Lancaster about it, and he said, he wants OSG to be hosted, the real OSG, the World Championship,
The final, yeah.
yeah, to be hosted over there because he's curious how much fatigue plays into it. I thought that was a fair point. Um,
Yeah,
you
a lot of
know,
travel.
um, because now the majority of athletes are going to be from America that sign up. So I
Right.
100% understand. And Lynn has all the equipment here. So I 100% get it. And I'm not complaining because I'm in America. Right. But I
Right.
mean, I do think there is something to that where, an athlete has to be traveling for 24 plus hours, in probably for weight class athletes, the most stressful portion of a comp is like 2 days,
Weight cut.
2 to 4 days before when you're in that horrible sunken phase. You're traveling, you're worrying about sweating, your exact nutrition. You gotta take freaking magnesium citrate, the works. No one wants to
Right.
be taking magnesium citrate on a freaking Spirit Airlines flight, So, um,
Mm-mm.
but but yeah, so I just thought that was cool. Um,
Yeah, it's a good point and a fair point.
when so we got to be getting close to OSG online qualifiers.
I think if I remember right, whenever the Europeans, somebody asked in the comments, said when's the online qualifier going to be? And I believe the answer was July.
Mhm. Yeah,
So we're
so
getting pretty close.
now I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember in years past they would announce the events like a week or two before online opened. And they
I
said
don't remember.
I thought 1 or 2 years ago it like maybe like middle of June. Say it was like July 1st to July 31st was the when you could submit. They announced it and like the weights, but they said no video submission. Like videos must be dated or whatever, and no video submission until actually July.
Okay. That might be.
Yeah, it gives people a little bit of time to plan for it and stuff like that. People that may not be as lucky, like logistically, obviously summer travel, stuff like that. So I'm thinking, at longest we're within a month of knowing online stuff and
I think it's
details.
fair.
So yeah, I'm just really excited and curious, to find out. Um, the last thing I want to talk about for strongman was I thought it was a really interesting point. I saw it on an Instagram story was how strongman this last like year has been all maxes. Have you guys noticed that? Like a lot of the shows are centralized around now. Like if you go on Iron Podium, Atlas Stone Record Show, Circus Dumbbell Record Show, like all these like even local shows have an event at it that's like a max. And it seems like we put like such a large emphasis on these like records over this last year. I was curious what you guys thought, if you guys are seeing that too, or if I'm just going crazy. But I think the record shows have kind of run its course this last year for me. I'm ready
Like
to
in what
see.
Is
in
there a
what
max?
sense?
Is there a max 13-inch deadlift record that could be broken at Battle at the Bridge?
There probably is. I guess my
Yeah.
whole point is like with strongman, I want to get back to like the best well-rounded athletes and like there's
Part of being
so
well
many.
rounded is doing maxes though.
Yeah, but not having record breaking shows, just having a max pull at a show, a
Yeah,
max.
right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
It seems like we're having a huge emphasis on maxes versus like moving and cool medleys. That's why I really like OSG because like I like the sandbag steeple, like
Mhm.
4 implement
Yeah.
power stairs. Like, of course, you got to be strong as hell to do a 507-pound power
Yeah.
stair, but necessarily, like, I just think, I guess the way I would say it is like, you don't, we, I don't know if we need to have a record for every single thing in strongman because it is the sport of
No,
unstandard.
I
Like
agree with
from the
that.
floor, 13-inch, 12-inch, 15-inch, 18-inch, freaking 20-inch stone, 22-inch stone. It's like at some point, this needs to be the strongman we love, where it's like show up and do 5 to 6 events and do it to your best ability.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with records, but like I like what they're doing with the chaos event where they're almost like having a halftime and
That's
then they're
really
having
cool.
people come in and like do basically like an expo lift. Like that's cool.
Yeah,
Trying to break a deadlift record.
I
That
agree
way, I
completely.
like that.
It's like
Um,
holding a farmer's handle for time. I'm not trying to like shit on anyone. It's
yeah,
just it's
it's
like because every farmer's handle is different.
yeah,
Trust me, I got a pair of farmer's handles in the hallway at 580 that I don't even have out that no one's holding for more than a minute with moderate weight. Like,
yeah, the red ones.
yeah, every single one's different. It's just
Yeah,
I
So
like those
I
ones,
like.
Josh. I'm just saying.
you like what?
I liked those ones. Those are my first farmers
Oh
that I
yeah,
held at Pig Iron Classic.
I know they're
I
crazy
like I like having a max event in a show,
for sure.
but I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm good with max events here and there, but like I'm not gonna be out there like cheering, like pioneering for a new one. You know, I'd rather see it in the show. Like I think the elephant bar deadlift at the Arnold Pro is like really exciting because it was awesome for a max event. But
yeah.
yeah,
Just picking and choosing what kind of records we like keep, I guess, in strongman. Just a thought. I like seeing a show, and it's like there's one max in there. There's like
there should be
a couple athletic events, maybe a nice medley, a unique event, something like that. Some moving, some reps, stuff like that. But just my thought. I think we've talked about on the pod before. Strongman goes in these waves where like sandbag toss is really big, stones are big. Last year, sandbag to shoulder and sandbag over shoulder was really big. So I'm sure it'll kind of go in and out. But just my thoughts. What else you guys got this week? Anything?
I don't think I do.
Dante?
I just have a question. I just have a question for the audience at the very end of the podcast, but we'll wait for it.
Let's hear it.
So, this is a stupid question. I just want to hear people's thoughts.
There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Me, Josh, and Frawley were flying, to OSG in Europe, and we happened to crash land in the ocean and just like a stranded island. Which one of us is surviving on this island and why? Comment below. Answer the question on Spotify. I want to know. I'm curious.
Frawley
That's hilarious.
I think Frawley would give up pretty quickly.
Dude, I got a lot more reserve than you guys got.
That's true.
I'd make it a lot longer.
All right, we're changing we're all competing, so me and Josh are freaking shriveled up and dying from water cuts.
Probably.
Like I'm good, baby. I'm a super heavyweight.
Okay. Someone asked this question. Okay. So Dante, we would form an alliance. That's the brains, you're the bronze. On your own. And Frawley, and we eat Frawley.
No, I would kill one of you and eat you.
Yeah, but I don't have much meat to offer you.
That's okay. You have enough for me to outlast Dante.
You have the most meat to offer us.
I know.
Dante could beat you up.
That's bullshit. You can't form alliances against me.
We can do whatever
we're on three separate islands. We're on three separate islands.
No, we can all be on the same island.
We're on the same island.
Yeah, we all crash land together.
Why do we have to kill each other? Can't we work as a team?
I didn't say we had to kill each other. I said who's surviving.
Who would survive?
Doesn't mean we got to kill each other. Just we can work together.
So, but does the winner if you are the last one surviving, you win, right?
Sure. I mean, there doesn't have to be.
So inherently,
it's just what if people could come rescue us at one point, but we could be stranded for months.
So what's the goal?
To survive?
Just for all of us to survive?
Yeah, but let's say we're stuck there for a year.
Yeah, we don't need to kill each other.
But I just don't want to know people's thoughts.
So why don't we all just sit around a fire and sing Kumbaya?
Yeah,
and we work together to all survive.
Yeah, we
you guys immediately went to killing me.
Well, Dante made it. Dante.
Josh immediately was like, "Let's kill the fat guy." You know what I mean?
Well, Dante made it seem like it was a challenge.
Well, Josh doesn't know how to fish. Well, Josh doesn't know how to fish or anything, so of course he wants the result.
You don't either. You don't either.
Yeah, if I don't have my white spinnerbait, we're done.
You can make your own. Get some coconut or something.
You won't, Dante. You can't catch a fish in a controlled golf pond.
I caught a fish last time me and Frawley went
with an ugly stick. What are you gonna do on a freaking island in the ocean when you don't have?
I went fishing in college, and my buddy from Trinidad came. He made a rod out of Coca-Cola bottle and fish and line.
That's him. He's not there.
But he showed me how. I am him.
No, you're not.
Listen, we're gonna team up. We're gonna work as the friends in the team we are. We're gonna come back grainier and stronger than ever, and we're gonna qualify for OSG after being stuck on this island the next year.
That's why I didn't train for however long we survived.
I'm sorry I said I was gonna kill you, Frawley. I'm not gonna kill you.
Yeah, that's the first thing that Josh went to. We just need to survive, and Josh is like, I'd kill the big guy.
Yeah, well, if I had to, but the scope got changed, and I wouldn't kill you, and you're my friend, and you're not.
Yeah, there weren't too many rules in the question. It was just basically who's surviving.
All right. Well, someone ask another question next week. That was a good one. Is there anything else in the world of strongman too? I don't think. Good question to the viewer.
Nationals, OSG qualifiers coming up.
We'll start talking about Strongman Corp Nationals too as we get closer. I'm sure we're
gonna do the regional first.
Yeah, gotta do the regional.
We'll talk about Kentucky regional after Battle at the Bridge because me and Frawley aren't allowed to talk about the Kentucky regional yet because we're focused on Battle at the Bridge.
Yeah,
gotta be focused.
Yep,
one show at a time.
100%.
Because remember when the Steelers a couple years ago they were focused on the Patriots when they had to verse the Jaguars and they got smoked.
They got smoked.
That's what's going to happen if we
Smoked
focus on this
by
Kentucky
Blake
show.
Bortles.
Me and my dear friend Riley Mackenzie Flynn were at that game. It's heartbroken.
Another reason why they got smoked.
I'm disgusted that
Great
Riley
game.
came back on the podcast and it wasn't with me.
Yeah.
We'll have to get the giant collection group again coming up soon. Maybe after Battle at the Bridge, we'll do another in-person one with everybody.
Yeah, we need to do. How are we going to do we're going to have to film a pod right after regionals, Dante, on Sunday.
God. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do a quick live one real quick after regionals, like after the smoke clears and just blast it out real quick. But yeah, appreciate everyone listening. We'll see a lot of you guys in person at Bridge and Regionals here in less than 2 weeks. Got a lot planned. Also, we're going to be dropping our next supplement. It'll be debut at Bridge and Regionals. So stay tuned for that. Our next supplement in the line. But yeah.
And I know you listeners, want autographs and stuff at Battle at the Bridge and regionals, but just try to get us in between events where we're not focused and everything. So just letting you guys know.
Yeah.
Oh God! On that note,
we'll see you guys all for episode 131. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
later.
The 5